Okay, so I just want to go over a few little things that I've got to do with this model before I can start painting it. I've added a lot of sort of minor additions, you know, bits and bobs to the model over the last day or two. For the large part I've used Mr. Cement S for that. It's great stuff, and all I need to do now is I just need to go around the bits that I've added and just polish them up where the Mr. Cement can leave a little witness or mark on the skin. The paints I use are lacquers and they go on so thin that that will show up under the paint, so it's just using a piece of fine Scotch-Brite like that and going around those areas where you know, you've added parts like this and there might be glue witness marks, and just giving it a light polish over to make sure that they're gone, and thus they won't show under a coat of paint. It was nice. One of the things that was nice to note on this was how well the air brakes fitted. I generally very rarely will I have air brakes open on an aircraft. It's rare that they are open when the aircraft's on the ground. So quite often I find having separate air brakes is more of an irritation than a help, because for the large part I view air brakes the same way as I view folded wings on naval aircraft. It's my opinion that it, with a very few exceptions, having wings folded on a model basically destroys the lines of the aircraft. So I don't like to do it. But that was all I needed to do, was just give it a little bit of a polish up over these areas, and look at other bits that might need some similar treatment. The wings, I've already done all the polishing I need to do on the wings. The tail planes, I've done the same. As you can see, they actually fit very nicely. Although it's going to be difficult if you want to pose them. It's really difficult because of the way they locate. They will need some work if you want to pose the tail planes anywhere other than horizontal. So what I've done, I have gone around the cockpit coaming here. I've painted that black. So what I want to do now is just use a medium grey paint to give that a little dry brush, just to make any of the detail on there pop out. I'm going to use something I don't often use for dry brushing, which is Tamiya acrylic, just to see how we go with using some of that for a dry brush. So we all know there's no secrets to dry brushing. Just making sure you've got the your paintbrush as dry as you possibly can after adding the paint, and then I'm just giving it a light dry brush over, just to pop the detail on the coaming out as best we can. So that's pretty much all I wanted to do with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring you in. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. Let's just get the lid on that pot of neutral grey there. Right, we have got a gun sight stroke head-up display that needs to go on the on that part of the coaming, and there's a little there's a projection glass sitting below the head-up display just there. What I don't want to do is have that too sort of too bright, if you like. A lot of people would add something like silver to that before adding they would add silver to that before adding a clear colour, which makes it really, really bright. It does look nice, but not particularly what I would call realistic. So what I want to do is just use either a clear green or a clear blue to highlight that. Sorry, there's a kitten. In actual fact, what I'm going to use is, it's not a transparent colour, but it is a nice colour for this sort of thing. It's Vallejo Panzeraces, and it's the periscope colour is what they call it. So I'm just going to give that a good shake. It's really very all we need. So I'm just going to pop the very tip off of a cocktail stick there, and then it's just simply a case of picking up a tiny little drop of that and adding a tiny drop to our head-up display there. Let's get a piece of kitchen towel. So what we're doing is we're moving towards the place where we can I can add the windscreen to the model, glue and blend that in place, and from there on out we'll be able to start masking for spraying. Now I've got a kitten clutching to the back of my look, see that? This is the bane of my life at the moment. He's a little nightmare who spends all his time basically being a pain. So I haven't yet evicted him from the modelling room, but that is very shortly going to happen. But if you hear any noises in the background, any scratchings or anything like that, that is the reason. This is Squirt. Say hello to the camera, Squirt. Look. So that's Squirt, my little baby. Go on, you. Definitely makes modelling interesting if you haven't made allowances for having a sawn off savage around. So all I'm going to do is saw off the windscreen. So what's going to happen is after I've added the head-up display there, the canopy is going to be fixed in place like so, and then that'll be blended and masked. The main canopy, you can see there. I'm building a MiG-23 MF rather than a MiG-23 M, which is how the kit comes. So I've had to modify the canopy somewhat, and that basically involved using a 5 thou card across the top centre of the canopy, each side of the periscope, to add an extra large thick frame line that goes there. It wasn't a difficult job. What I've also done is I've added a little bit to the inside as well. So that's where we are. I'm just letting that blue dry off. Looking for my head-up display, which is there. So I just need to clean off this head-up display. And check for its location. And that's how it goes in there. So what I'm going to use to secure the head-up display in place is a little bit of gator glue. So I'm just going to use a tiny little drop. I must get some more gator glue at the weekend when I'm up at the Nationals. This pot is more or less dead. Okay, so it's just a case of picking up the head-up display. I'm just going to put a tiny drop of gator glue on each side. There is a locating lug on the head-up display which locates into the coaming, and then it's just a case of popping the head-up display into place. The great thing about gator glue is it's really grippy stuff, which I like, and it doesn't take long to dry. I use it in preference to white glue for the most part these days. So anyway, that's the head-up display in place. What I need to do is let that dry, let the gator glue dry. Then it's a case of touching up around the sides of the head-up display, because it needs some black framing adding and stuff. And then we're really ready to go with the windscreen, like so. So that's where we are. I'm going to stop now for a while, and I'll see you back when we're ready to. I'll probably have had that painted, have the canopy or the windscreen at least in place, and I'll be on to the painting of things like the canopy frames and stuff like that the next time you see me. So I'll see you then.